Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States, which is 10 a.m. if you're in Australia, or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. I hope all you guys and girls are well. You've had a good weekend and a good week. Hellforge, good morning to you. Hellforge has just popped in the link for the Discord channel. So if you would like to join the Phil Does 3D Discord channel, you can click that link that Hellforge just popped into Twitch chat. We're going to be working on a game called The House in the Hollow, which you can wishlist right now on Steam by clicking the link in Twitch chat. Or at any time, you can always type !Steam in Twitch chat. That'll give you a link to wishlist the game or check it out on Steam if you want. There's also a graphic in my panels on my Twitch page that you can click to go to the Steam store page and to the Discord server as well. So yes, we're going to continue working on the House in the Hollow game, which is being created in the Unreal Engine 4. We were working on the elevator that's going in the basement, so we finished that. And now we're going to move back up to the attic. So normally with the way I've been creating these rooms for you while I've been streaming is we texture up the assets and then I create the room completely. I thought just for a bit of a change of pace, we might start setting up the room and then start texturing some assets. And so we'll sort of mix between the two. Instead of just doing all the assets and setting up the room, we'll start setting up the room and there are some assets that I still need to texture up. So the ones that need doing, we'll do them. We'll put them in as we go. So it might be a bit more interesting. Remember, guys, if you want to pop in the chat and say hello, that's always welcome. But if all you want to do is watch, that's completely fine. Yeah, so I just thought that'd be easier. But what we'll do with the lighting for the rooms is I've explained my process to you guys before. I like to set the room up completely. I usually do that in unlit mode in the Unreal Engine because there are no lights in the scene, so it'll be completely black otherwise. And then once the room is set up, then I do the lighting as the last step because it allows me to play with the lights a bit more and get a better idea of what things are going to look like if I leave that till the very end. So that's what we'll do with the lighting, but we'll jump between setting the room up and texturing up assets as we go, I think, for the attic, just for something different. The attic is actually going to be... I found it to be a little bit more difficult to set up than the other rooms, simply because the shape of the room is so strange. Because, you know, attics, they have roofs that are sort of like pointed most of the times or at an angle, at weird angles. So it's made setting it up really difficult. So what I've done is I've not set the room up completely, but I've started to set it up just so, because it took me a few weeks to work out a design for it because it is such a weird shape. So we'll jump into the Unreal Engine in a minute and I'll show you what I mean. So we're not going to be starting from a completely empty room. There are some assets in there already. We're just going to build upon that already. Hellforge says attics are even stranger in shape, seeing as they tend to be all bent out of shape. So yeah, I just wanted to explain that the reason why the room has already started to be set up a little bit, just I needed to try and work out a design for it. It proved quite challenging. So anyway, and of course I'm back in lockdown again. The government here have just, I live in Melbourne in Australia. We have a curfew as from 9 o'clock in the evening till 5 o'clock in the morning. We can't leave our house, and they've just extended that by another 2 months. We've already been in this state for like 6 weeks, and now it's going to be extended by another 2 months. So that's fun. So you're probably going to see Phil get a bit scraggy because I can't get my hair cut or anything. Well, everything's closed down. All retail's closed down. Curfews are in place. You can't go more than 5 kilometres from your home, and only if you want to exercise. And you can't go out of your house for more than an hour unless you're doing like grocery shopping. So it's not good. Numbers are coming down, but it's still, we're in lockdown. So you'll see Phil go a bit stir crazy over the next 8 weeks. Hellforge says, hope you had a nice week off. It's good to see you again. It's good to see you again too, Hellforge. I did. I had a week off streaming, but I was still working, obviously, and I work for the Archbiz and the game studio, so I was busy. I was working until 3 in the morning. Yeah, there were just other things I had to do last week that wouldn't allow me to stream at the same time. So I'm looking forward to Christmas break, let me tell you. Helpwood says, I've been scraggy for the past 10 years, so you'll be fine. Okay, cool. But yes, you will see me getting progressively scraggier and scraggier and scraggier. So anyway, we're going to jump into the Unreal Engine. Now, again, the guys at the game studio have said to me, you cannot leave the room you're working in. We've seen your previous streams, and we know you're ignoring us sometimes. Don't do it. So I'm going to try and be good and stay only in the rooms we're working in. Just for a bit of explanation here, we are in a room that's behind the main bedroom. It's a hidden room. And this is what will be leading up to the attic, which you see up there. Not textured yet, so these white walls are just temporary. Helpwood says, Phil with a beard, that'll be cool to see. Yeah, I can't grow a beard. This is as thick as it'll get for me. My hair's just too fine. I wish I could grow it. I would love to grow a really bushy beard, but it won't happen. I'd like it to, but it just won't. Because if I do trim this, like with clippers, but if I was to let this grow out, it wouldn't grow into a nice bushy beard. It'd grow into, I don't know, those really thin-looking beard. I'd love to, but I can't. So yes, the attic. We're going to place some spiral stairs in here, which we have already created and textured up, to take us up to the attic here. And again, I've just started, just put a few bits and pieces in so I can get an idea of how I want to design this. Helpwood says, got to glue a cat to your chin. That's right. Oh, I wish I could grow a beard. I really do. Then I'd be a real boy. None of this little stubbly business that I've got going on. So yeah, the attic here, we have two rooms. We have the main, we have a hallway section here. And then we're going to come around a corner, go down this thin hall, and that'll bring us into the main room here. And again, I've placed a few bits and pieces in this room already, just so I can get an idea of design. And again, I'm going to go probably into unlit mode now, just so we can see a bit better. So it's white because it's not textured yet. It's not going to stay white. Helpwood says it's not the beard on the outside, it's the beard on the inside that counts. That's right. That's right. It's the inside beard. Sorry, I'm just checking my phone here. There we go. So we're going to move from this room back to where we were. I'm back here. And let's start setting this up, shall we? So I think we're going to start with putting a divider here between the lower section and the upper section, which I have already made, although we need to scale it, I think. Smurfberry, it's good to see you, Smurfberry. Says, that's pretty. I'm also muted, so you'll have to mind more communication with me. Hey, Smurfberry, it's good to see you. Watching me muted. Well, what does that say about people wanting to listen to my voice? I don't know if I should be insulted or what. Anyway, let's scale this up. Let me just get into a position where we can see what we're doing. I'm trying to remember if I might need to rotate it, I think. Yeah, I think it's around the wrong way. Or is it? Phil's confused. Hang on. Hang on, let me have a look. No, I think that is the right way around. It looks like I might just have my scaling off just a little bit. Helpwood says, Smurf's probably ordering pizza and enjoying the hold music right now. That's right. I think it is a public holiday in the US today. I think it's Labor Day from memory. I could be wrong, and I'm sure my American friends will tell me if I am. But I think it's Labor Day. A public holiday for them. Not for me. Let's just pull this up a little bit. And we're going to scale it in a little bit. Now again, I've just been a little bit slack here. If I'd measured this correctly in max, I wouldn't need to scale it, but it's okay. As long as we don't scale dramatically or like, as long as we don't make any huge scaling changes and then they're only minor, then it'll be fine. And this is just a border that's going to separate the upper section from the lower section. Juzan or Ido, it's good to see you. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Ido, Juzan. See, I remembered. I see you mentioned on the Discord server that you bought a GTX 2080 Ti in April. It's still a very good card. Don't be upset you bought the 2080. It'll serve you well. But that's because the new NVIDIA graphics cards were announced on the 1st of September. And they are looking pretty sweet. If what NVIDIA have to say in their presser, in their marketing video, is any indication, they do seem like they're going to be pretty awesome. We're talking almost twice as fast as the current 20 series cards, supposedly. Helpwood says every day is a holiday when you're unemployed. Well, this is true. Juzan says, I've been making money on Fiverr, not half bad. Fiverr, for anyone that doesn't know, is a website you can go to commission people to do work for you. So, I've not used them personally myself, but cool that you're making money on Fiverr. Making money is always a good thing. Now, I've just got to try and scale this correctly. I see. I think I see. Okay, so that side will be okay. This side, not so much. How am I going to do this? Now, the reason I'm having a bit of an issue here is simply because the The interior of the attic room here, the walls, looks like I might have made it a little bit smaller than it should be. Possibly. So how are we going to fix this? And I have to be careful because the beams are actually a separate object to the actual walls. So but I'm glad to hear you've been making some money on Fiverr, Suzanne. Fiverr's a good website. I'm not disparaging it at all. My only advice would be for people who want to have somebody else on Fiverr do a job for them, make sure you explain exactly and clearly exactly what you want, because I've heard people, when people have a bad experience on Fiverr, it's usually because they're dealing with people where English isn't their first language. So you have to make sure you explain very clearly exactly what you want, so that way you'll get what you want. People, if you explain what you want, you will get what you want. I think that the problem that people run into with Fiverr sometimes is they don't clearly explain exactly what they want done, and they get back a result that isn't what they wanted. And generally, because you're getting the job done really cheap, usually, or much cheaper than what it would cost if you were to hire someone else locally, you don't get so many revisions. So basically, they give you what they've done and they won't. And if you want any revisions done, they're going to charge you to do revisions, which is fair enough because they're doing it for a cheap price. So just make sure you're really clear in your requirements as to what you want them to do, and you'll get a good result. I'm sure that I'm not applying that to you, Edo. I'm just saying because I've heard people whinging about Fiverr before and saying things like, oh, well, they didn't give me what I wanted. Well, you didn't explain exactly what you wanted to begin with, obviously. Smurf says, no wonder you can't get out of the hollow. It's surrounded by a grey void. That's right. It's not surrounded by a grey void. It's got a lovely dusk, sunsetty skybox on it. Yeah, now I've got to be a little bit careful here now. I'm just trying to think if there's a way I can do this without scaling that up. I don't think there is, unfortunately. I could try bringing the wood in. Actually, that might be a better option. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. Maybe not. Maybe. So we have these two pieces here, which I can bring forward. Actually, I don't think that's going to help either way. Well, maybe. So if I bring that forward, then I can maybe bring this in. And again, the walls won't stay white. They're only white at the moment because we haven't textured them up. It's like a placeholder. Well, it's the actual asset, but it just hasn't been textured, that's all. Okay, and then I can probably maybe bring this paneling back a little bit. Okay, maybe if we pull this over a little bit more. Okay, and then if I bring this paneling forward just a touch more. Geez, how far forward do I have to bring it? Okay, this is what I was afraid of, here in the corner. Right. Oh, it's giving me a headache. I could bring that forward, but I don't want to do that. No, that's not going to work. All right. Let's put that back. Okay, so that means I'm probably going to have to try and scale this up. It's in the X value, the X axis. So let me just move this over so I've got a reference to scale to. You have to bear in mind too, when I created this building, it was never really going to have an attic. So I had to sort of retrofit the design to put an attic in, which is why we're getting this bit of misalignment now happening with the different bits and pieces. If I designed it from the beginning to have an attic, then this probably wouldn't have been an issue. But I didn't, so... So I'm going to get the this piece measured up, scaled up correctly first, and we'll go from there. Juzan says, I had to do competitive pricing. I don't know, maybe why people are doing 3D for such a low price. Yeah, the reason that you can get a really good price on Fiverr is generally because a lot of the people doing the work are based in countries where the cost of living is a lot lower than what it is in like the US or Australia or the UK. So they can afford to do things for a cheaper price. And again, that's usually why English isn't their first language, so you have to be really clear with them as to exactly what you want. They are very cheap, and that's the reason they're cheap though, because you don't get the revisions like you do with if you go through a normal contract person, if you're sort of like getting some contract work done. Generally you get many more revisions on what you want with somebody that you're, that you're paying normally. Whereas on Fiverr, because they're doing it so cheap, they can't afford to constantly be doing revisions for you. So that's why you just got to be careful. But they are cheap, and they're cheap though because most of the people doing the work live in countries where the cost of living isn't as expensive as what we pay in countries like the UK, the US, or Australia, or Europe. So yeah, I'm not surprised you had to do competitive pricing, Edo. Oh. Now. There are a couple of things I can do here. I can move that paneling back. Probably can't really. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself as I'm working here. I'm talking to you guys, that's what I'm doing. All right. Let's tackle one problem at a time, shall we? Let's bring it in. needs to come in a little bit more. Alright, so now that's lined up. Well, it's lined up there anyway. The Space Human! Sup with you, Space Human! Good to see you. I hope you're well. I'm desperately trying to get this thing to fit properly. Oh, okay. Right. So it looks like I just misaligned, I think, the roof section here. So if I move this over a little bit, we should line up with a bit of luck. Now I'm just going to make sure I don't mess up my doorway. I'm just going to go back into lit mode so I can sort of get a better idea of what's going on. Here we go. Okay. So does that mean I need to now bring the doorway section over a little bit? So basically the way I created this room is I have a roof section and a floor section, and then between the different rooms I have like a door join section. Now we haven't textured these up yet, so if I move my door join over a little bit more, no, not that way, this way. I just want a bit of a border there. It makes it look more interesting. Then I need to move. I need to. Probably move my floor a little bit. I think with this door what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scale it widthwise a little bit wider, just so we don't have that line happening through there. Like that. Like that. That should be good. And we're lined up there. And then I should be able to move this paneling back. Like that.
She's got a taste of wanderlust, she's wanting more. She makes her way through foreign lands across the shores. She's getting high when she's afraid to face the lows. She lays her head
I do that every time in this engine. I mean to move my mouse and I move the actual object. Okay, so now I think we should be pretty much okay. I might just move this up a little bit. Okay, now we should be good. No, I have to move these forward a little bit, so I am going to have to leave the room. They're not going to be happy with me. I'm just going to jump outside really quick to move these forward. These are the windows on the outside of the building, just so they don't protrude through the wall. There we go. Might just move this back a little bit. I think I moved it a bit too far forward. That's better. And that means I need to move these sections further back. Making sure I haven't forgotten anything. And maybe the windows can go back a little bit more as well. Okay. Looks like we have an issue here. That's really annoying. I think we could probably hide that. Yeah, we'll probably be able to hide that because I want to put wooden boards up on the top here. So even though we're getting a little bit of, it's actually intersecting with the roof a little bit here. Because I'm only going to be placing like basically a blacky brown texture on the roof here. Because it's all going to be covered up with boards. So well, I think we'll be able to hide that with boards. When we place the boards, we'll have a look, but I'm pretty sure it should be fine. We should be good. Because if I bring the wall section forward again, we're going to start to get a gap happening here. And I don't want that, so. Just trying to work out. No, we'll leave it the way it was. For now, I might come back and revisit this section a little bit later, once we get the rest of it set up a bit more. So, I think what we'll do is we'll bring the steps in. So let's go back into unlit mode. Copy break. That's a good idea. I need the copy. Android alarm. My apologies. Jizan says these asset tileable. That's true. It's good to see you, Android Lost. How are you? Says, hey Phil, I'm here slightly busy, but I'm listening. Cool. It's good to see you, Android Lost. I hope you're well. I was saying at the beginning of the stream that even though I didn't stream last week, my apologies, guys. I was still working, and I was working till 3 in the morning, so I just had too much going on last week to be able to stream as well. But I'm back now. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. And like I said, I think it's Labor Day holiday, isn't it, for you guys in the US? So happy Labor Day if you're in the United States. I'm pretty sure it is today. And I'm back in lockdown for another 2 months. The government here in the city I live in have extended the lockdown for another 2 months. So you're going to start to see me looking very shaggy and raggedy because I can't get my hair cut or anything for the next 2 months. So by the end of October, which is when the lockdowns are due to lift, I should be looking quite interesting. Thank God I don't have to see people, apart from you guys. You're going to have to look at Phil being really shaggy and not having his hair cut for 3 months. Let's bring the steps in, shall we? Sit up straight. Charlie Pop, I will sit up straight. You are right. Thank you. There we go. How's that? I'll move my chair in a little bit more as well, so my head doesn't get cut off with my camera. Looks like I've got a flat top. You remember the days when guys used to get flat tops? I mean, I guess in the military it's still very popular, and I used to have one actually. In my younger days, I used to have a flat top. Let's bring in the spiral stairs. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? There they are. And let's get them angled correctly as well. Just got to get into a position here where I can see enough to move them into place. I think actually that angle is probably pretty good. So basically, well, they're going to hate me. I'm going to have to sort of sneak into here. You go through the hidden door to hit the steps. So. And I think though when you get to the top of the stairwell, I want it to be a straight run into the attic hall. And we'll move this over as much as we can. Actually, that's not correct. We change that. I want that to be more like that. Yeah, maybe more like that. Yeah, I think that's better. So we come through the door to hit the steps. It's okay that we have our palm coming through our railing there. It makes it look a bit more interesting. Alright. Let me bring it forward as much as I possibly can, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. We just have to be careful we don't start banging into things. It clears our little ram's head there, so that should be alright. Okay. Now, while I'm on these steps, did I bring the thing in that I want? Maybe I put it in the bedroom folder. Let me have a look. No, not the bathroom, the bedroom. Because I created like this disc that I want to sit at the bottom of the stairwell. Did I not bring it in? Because I created these assets ages ago and then we moved on to different rooms, so I can't remember what I brought in and what I didn't. I don't think I brought it in. That's very annoying. It's okay. We'll come back to that in a minute. It's on my hard drive. There's a Max file. I've created it. I know I did. I remember doing it. Juzan says these assets tileable. Yes, these ones are. All of the wall paneling and the wood that we're bringing up for the wall sections will be tileable. These are all tileable. Yeah. But when you say tileable, do you mean the texturing or the actual assets itself? Ito? Not sure. Andrew Loss says, hey Phil, I'm here just slightly busy, but I'm listening. Yeah, sorry, Juzan. If that was what you meant, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to jump back into Max in a minute anyway, because there's a couple of assets that I've created that I'm just realising now are probably going to be too big. No, like railings and things, I mean. Because I didn't realise how wide these steps were. And because this room looks really big, but it's actually not. It's actually quite narrow. It's not until we get into the second part of the attic here that it's a bit larger. So let me think. Now, some of the assets you see here are not mine. Some like this is actually from Megascans, so Quixel. So I'm using a couple of Quixel's assets. Remember, if you're making a game in Unreal Engine, because Epic Games bought Quixel, you can use any of the Megascans library in your game so long as it's an Unreal game for free. So I thought I'd take advantage of that. So things like this bust and things, they're not my asset. So, but I want to bring this railing section in and just see. I think it might be a bit big. Maybe not. Maybe I can sort of squeeze it in without going through the wall, yeah. Because when I made the building, I made it so we had a lot of play in the walls, between the outer wall, the inner wall, and then the actual building rooms. And I did that on purpose so that I could, if I needed to, stick some assets through the walls without having to change them before they actually, stuck outside. So I did think ahead when I created the actual design for the building. Having said that, looks like it needs to be wider and taller. I actually think I may have to jump into Max and make some adjustments to this asset. Because I can't get it to scale. I'm going to have to start scaling it a bit more than it really should be. And that's going to start to affect the look of everything. Like for instance here, it needs to be scaled wider, but because we have like this circular bit on top, if I scale it too wide, we start to get that distortion. Now I could fix that by scaling it this way, but then it's going to start to get a bit too long. We still have enough play in the wall that I could. Let's see. So I can't have it coming over the entryway, otherwise that'll block the player. It has to be like there. And that means we're going quite a ways into the wall, but we're still within the wall just. So we could get away with it. Having said that though, I am going to scale it up a little bit. Again, make sure I'm not going through the wall. The advantage of doing things like this and not actually cutting it and bringing it back into the engine is we could reuse this asset now in another spot in the building somewhere. Whereas if I cut it to measure for this section, then the chance of us being able to use it somewhere else are reduced because it might be too short for anywhere else. But by doing it this way, and I've done this with a few of the assets in the building where they're bigger than they actually should be, it does mean we can reuse the assets somewhere else in the building if we wanted to, which I may end up doing. Like I may put this section somewhere down in the basement, and it just gives me more more opportunity to use the same asset if it's a bit longer, and therefore it can be used more. It'll be more useful. So that's what we're going to do. Now I do need a section of wood that comes through here, which I have not made yet. So I will be placing like a board that sits, just a rectangular piece of wood between the stairwell and the floor to cover up that gap. I didn't want to make that until I had this placed so I could know what size it had to be. Okay, so So I really do want to place that piece underneath of here. I'm just going to jump into Max really quick. We're just going to do a quick save before we do anything. And then I'm going to jump into Max to try and find that piece of geometry I want to put underneath of the stairwell. It's just a circular disc which has a pattern in it. I really thought I brought it in, but I obviously didn't. So let's jump back into Max. I'm just going to see if I can't find it first, but I can't quite remember where I put it. I thought I put it under the attic. Maybe it was still in the bedroom but didn't bring it in. No, not the bathroom. Stairs disc, that's it there. Okay, it looks like I did export it, I just haven't imported it, so we don't probably need to jump into Max. I can probably jump back into Unreal and import. Where did it put it? Okay, it's there. Let's just fix the shader up. Pull this over so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to move that temporarily while I import the other two textures. So we want the normal map. Oh, hang on, we have an updated version here. The updated one. Updated one. The raw. And this one has a specular instead of metallic. Let's bring that in as well. Again, I made this months ago and I'm trying to remember exactly what I was doing. I'm just going to pull these into the shader and then pull this over so you guys can see. Okay, so this one is the spec. This one is the rough. Let's hook up the right diffuse. And this one is the normal. This one is the rough. And this one is the spec. Remove that one. Okay, I'm just going to rename this stair disk. Keep everything nice and organized. Normally I'm not, like, it's always a good idea to make sure you name things correctly, but particularly when you're doing a game, because at the moment this game has thousands of assets, and if it's not all named correctly, you're going to run into trouble really quickly. The same with the mesh. Instead of just calling it stair disk, I'm going to call it stair disk underscore MSH for mesh. Okay, let's have a look at that. So basically what I need here is I need to bring the brass material. I want to reuse materials as much as I can. Just so that we don't start to run out of texture memory and things. The all-seeing eye. It's funny you have that actually, all-seeing eye, because we're going to be working on an asset that uses that, but we'll get to that later. The all-seeing eye. Remember to what? Oh, remember to mime because you're not listening. Why you want to make my life so hard? So what I need to do here is I need to find the brass material. So let's see. Materials, let's do a search. I can't remember exactly what I called it. Let's see if it's called brass. Brass edging, that's the one there. And I closed my thingy up and I shouldn't have, so that's annoying. Let's do that again. So I'm used to working on two monitors, so leave me alone. Static disk. Okay, we'll keep that open. Back to materials. And we want brass. So we want to bring that into here. And we can save that. And now we can close that. And let's remove our filter here so we can see what's going on. Digitalis, it's good to see you, Digitalis. Thank you for the host as well. I do appreciate it, guys, when you host the channel. So thank you, Digitalis, for hosting. And it's good to see you. I hope you're well. And again, I'm wishing all my American viewers a happy Labor Day. So I'm pretty sure it's Labor Day in the US. No one said it's not yet to me, so. Long time no see. Yeah, what you been up to? You been doing 3D? Digitalis says, well, I'm not American, I'm Belgian. Yeah, no, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Smurfberry and Android Lust. I'm pretty sure they're US people. And I think it's Labor Day in the US today. But being an Australian, I can't be sure because, you know, it's an American thing. Digitalis says, been going through some tough shit. No, that's not good. But I'm picking up the slack again. Well, that's good to hear. I'm sorry to hear you've been going through a tough time. It's never good. Listen, I can sort of relate because I'm in lockdown for the next 2 months, and that's been pretty tough. We've been in lockdown for a month and a half, and we're going to be in lockdown for another 2 months yet. So I'm not suggesting it's the same as what you're going through, but I'm just saying it's tough. It's a tough thing to have to deal with. But I'm glad that you're picking the pieces up and you're doing a bit better. Android Lust says, yeah, it's Labor Day. Never knew what the point of Labor Day is. So I don't even know I don't know what it is either. But again, I'm Australian, not American, but yeah, I just knew it was Labor Day. Not that I know what Labor Day is. I got no idea. Now, I'm not going to bring this up because I don't want to cover up that little guy there. And if I bring these stairs up, the stairs have like this circular base on them as well. That's going to cover up most of him, so... or will I? Can't make up my mind. Let's move it up and let's see what it looks like. Yeah, you see, if we move it up, it covers up most of that little guy. So I'm thinking maybe we won't move it up. We don't need it. We've got this other base here now that we can use. I might just position it a little bit better. We sort of want the step to be about in the middle of the pentagram. And we might actually rotate this to be around so we can see the little man a little bit better. I just wanted to bring it in just to add a bit more interest to the floor section when people come through the door. May rotate it around. Looks like he's going to be covered up anyway because he's going to be sitting underneath the step. That's okay. You started doing 3D again, Digitalis? Well, that's good to hear. Look, and again, like I say to you guys, it's a fun thing to do 3D. You don't have to do it for a job. It's just a fun thing to actually do anytime, particularly if you're sort of going stir crazy because maybe wherever you're living is like I am in lockdown. It can be a good thing, just a good outlet, a good creative outlet. That's what I'm trying to say. So regardless of whether you're doing anything as far as the job goes, it can be just a fun thing to do. But if you don't feel it, don't do it. If you can't get into it, then don't do it, because you won't do a good job anyway. But I'm glad to hear you getting back into it. And taking a break from it is completely cool. Okay, so I've got that under there. I've got the steps going up there. Did I bring in? I have like a crate, like not a crate, but like a wooden box. And again, I can't remember if I brought it in or not. Let's just get out of the materials here so I don't get confused. And again, doesn't look like I brought that in either. It's one that I've actually already created. Again, let's just do a save and let me jump in to see if I can find it. And again, this is a Megascans asset, not this. This is one that I made. But what I'm going to be bringing in is a Megascans asset. We'll just wait for that to save out. And let me see if I can find it. Wooden chest, I think that's it there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. So let's bring that in. And again, before I do that, I'm just going to do a bit of cleanup here. So we don't need this material. We replaced it. Yes, delete. We don't need this texture. We replaced it with this one. So let's delete that. I'm going to move my textures into their own texture folder. Again, to keep everything nice and organized. And move the material into the material folder. Good, now we're organized. Digitalis says, can I post a work in progress? You can on the Discord, Digitalis, for sure. Just don't post it in Twitch chat. Only subs can do that, but you can post it. I want to see it in the gallery in the Discord for sure. I'd love to see a work in progress. You guys know I love looking at the work you guys do. Thank you, Hellforge. Yeah, there's a link to the Discord server there. Yes, as Hellforge says, post it in the gallery on the Discord. Juzan says, are you getting 30 series card? Ooh, I'd like one. I would like one, I have to admit. I would like one. Actually, I want to show some work from the gallery toward the end of the stream, because Wax King did a really lovely gun that I want to show, and it looks like Edo has posted some character stuff in the gallery as well, so I will show that all toward the end of the stream. And yes, Edo, I would like to get a 30 series card. I actually want to get the 3090 because I like the fact that it's got 24 gigabytes of VRAM, and because VRAM is more important to me than anything. Doing 3D work I'm talking things like using V-Ray and things in Max. Having more VRAM on the graphics card is always a good thing. So I wouldn't upgrade to a 3080 because it's only got 10 gig and I don't see the benefit personally, but a 3090, yeah, I would like to. It just depends on on whether they're going to be available or not. Because, believe it or not, and NVIDIA, please change your mind. Please, NVIDIA. They're not going to be selling the Founders Edition cards in Australia. You can't buy them online from NVIDIA in Australia. Way to go, NVIDIA. I mean, come on. Come on, NVIDIA. Make them available in Australia. For some strange reason known only to NVIDIA, they have decided that Founders Edition cards, if you're an Australian, a New Zealander, or a Japanese, you can't buy them online through NVIDIA. They're not going to make them available. And you can't buy them any other way because they're not being imported into this country. So the only choice people in Australia have, if they want a 3090 or a 3080, is to buy one of the aftermarket cards from like Asus or EVGA or MSI. And I like the design of the Founders Edition cards. That's the design choice I like. I like a nice clean looking video card. I don't want LEDs all over it. I don't want 6 fans everywhere. I don't want fins here and there, and like all of the aftermarket cards. I'm sorry if you're a designer for one of these companies, but they're all bloody awful. They are awful. They're ugly and they're awful. What choice am I going to have? So yeah, I was all set to grab a 3090 Founders Edition if I could buy one from Nvidia, but now that I can't do that, I'm sort of like, I'm not going to rush to buy one of the partner cards because they're ugly. But I would like a 3090. So if that's my only choice, then I may have to just suck it up and buy one of these ugly board partner cards. What are you saying, Juzan? Are you saying? Sorry, Digitalis says I can't. It says I can't. Hang on, let me have a look. You're a member of the Discord server, Digitalis? Yes? You have to remember. You can't post unless you remember. You are? Okay, well let me have a look here. I've got Discord open, so I'll check it myself. Is your username Digitalis on the Discord, Digitalis? Is your Discord username the same? If not, tell me what your Discord username is. Darth Vader, okay. Let me have a look. Darth Vader. Because I'm not seeing you, let me keep going. I'm not seeing you as a member on the server. Unless I'm going blind. Which, let's face it, is always a possibility with Phil. Yeah, I don't see you as a member. Are you sure you've joined the server as a member? Because I'm looking at our members list here and I don't see that username as a member. If you're not, then become a member and then me or one of the mods can actually give... Oh, hang on, I see you here. No, my apologies, I see you... I don't know if you remember though, are you? Hang on, let me have a look. Yeah, you're not a member of my Discord server, I don't think. So you're on Discord, which is cool, but you must join my Discord server to be a member of my Discord. I'm assuming, I can see you. You say you're using Substance Painter at the moment, that's what it's telling me. Look, let me see if I can do this. Alright, now I've made you a member, you should be able to post. Yeah, you join. Okay. I've made you a member. I don't know what happened, but you weren't actually assigned the membership role. You are a member now. You should be able to post. So there you go. Post it in the gallery Digitalis, and we'll check it out toward the end of the stream. Okay. What will we do? That's right. We're bringing in the little chest. Yeah, if that ever happens, guys, just let me or one of the mods know. I have Discord open while I stream with my Twitch chat, obviously. So one of us will fix that up for you. So where is it? Wooden chest. Okay. Let us rename this. So it's Wooden Chest Mesh or MSH. And let's rename this to wooden chest MAT for material. Android Lost says, will it take 5 minutes before it kicks in? No, it shouldn't, because I've done it. When you first join the Phil Does 3D Discord server as a new person, there's a 15-minute cooldown period between when you join and when you can post, but that can be overridden, and I've overridden it for Digitalis, so he should be able to post pretty much immediately. If you can't, Digitalis, let me know, but there's no reason you shouldn't be able to. I made you a member immediately. So yeah, generally if you're a new person, there's a 15-minute cooldown between when you first join and when you can first post. That's just to stop spam bots and stuff. But if you don't want that cooldown, me or one of the moderators can actually just make you a member immediately. So just let us know in chat, Twitch chat. So let's open up that. Let's bring in the textures for this. So we've got the diffuse, the normal, and the rough. Let's bring them into the shader. And save our shader. Okay, now let's find a spot for this little chest, and I think maybe on an angle over here in the corner might look cool. So let's bring that in. I'm going to scale it up. Rotate it around. Move it back. And again, I'm just sort of positioning myself here so I can make sure it won't obscure anything for the player if they want to walk around. Should be alright. You can't open this chest, unfortunately, though. It's just a chest that's there to make the room look a bit more interesting. We're going to be bringing some candles and stuff in, but we'll do that at the end after I start doing the lighting. So we'll tackle that then. Let me just get myself organized here. I just want to check the scale. I think the scale might be a little bit big. Might pull it back a bit. I think it's better. You posted the work in progress? What am I looking at here? Oh, okay. I see what's going on. I'll check that out again. Like I said, toward the end of the stream is when I show off all the work you guys have done. I just have to have a sneak peek here. I'm just trying to work out what it is. I'll do it off stream. I want to see what this is. I'll show them toward the end. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. I'll show that toward the end of the stream. Digitals. Looks great. If you don't want to wait for me, guys, jump on the Discord server now, and you can check it out in the gallery. But I will show it. I will show it toward the end of the stream before I sign off for the day. I'm just looking at the Discord chat. Android Lust says to Digitalis, before I full screened your work in progress, I thought you were going... That's what I thought too. That's exactly what I thought, Android Lust. That's why I had to check it out. quickly because it looked like a graphics card. That's exactly what I thought. I thought it was a graphics card. Maybe it's just because I got graphics cards on the brain. I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was a graphics card as well. Andrew Doss says, just thinking about the 3090. Yes, me too. Digitalis says, doesn't look like it at all though. And Smurf says they're about the same size. Yeah, I thought it was a graphics card too, just from seeing the small image in the Discord before I opened it up in the browser. I thought it was a graphics card. So yes, the 3090, it does look sweet. The 24 gigabytes of VRAM. Just wish Nvidia would sell the Founders Edition to me in Australia here. Me wants it now. Not that I'm running 2080 at the moment, and it's fine, but but the more VRAM is always good for rendering, particularly for real-time GPU rendering. Andrew Doss says, yeah, it's because we're thinking about GPUs. I think so. The 3090 looks like a very big card, I have to say. Like, it's very thick and it's very long. And remember, the Founders Edition have that new 12-pin power connector, but Nvidia are giving you an adapter, so you go from 2 8-pins to one 12-pin that goes into the card. So I'm jealous of all you guys in the US that can actually buy the Founders Edition. What are you thinking, Nvidia? What are you thinking? The rumor, of course, is that they're short on supply, so that's the reason that they're limiting it to why they're not selling it to Australians or New Zealanders or Japanese. Anyway. Android Lot says, but the case looks solid. It does look solid. No, the whole render looks great. I'll show it off, like I said, toward the end of the stream. Where am I moving to? So I want candles and stuff down here, but we'll do that at the lighting stage. And down here is not really big enough to put a lot more. I may put a couple of, I don't know, some clay jugs and things, but we'll look at that in a minute. Let's move back up to the main part of the attic now. Well, there we go. And that wooden board that will join up the steps to the rest of the attic. Again, we'll look at that in a minute, well, a bit later. For now, though, let's look at the attic itself. So I want to bring, the way I've designed this room is I should be able to reuse the same assets without, like, I should be able to, I created assets that should be tileable in that we shouldn't have to have unique sizes for each part of the wall. I sort of designed the wall sections so that we can just duplicate the same asset over and over again. And that'll allow us to turn them into hardware instant static meshes. But again, you do that right at the end of the game. I'm not doing it now because if I want to move anything and I turn it into a hardware instant static mesh, then that's going to cause problems. You can't actually move them. They move as a group. So to avoid that, I do that. That will be done as part of the optimization stage on the entire game once the building itself is completely finished. So, but what I should be able to do is I should be able to say grab one of these sections here, and we should be able to start lining up the rest of the paneling for the walls. So if I get the scale of one of them right, then we can just copy it for all the others. Let's get the angle correct. I'm just going to turn off angle snap here because the angle of this ceiling section is a little different than the snapping angle. So let's move it up. Legmog, it's good to see you, Legmog. How are you? Legmog says, woo, the new NVIDIA cards are released. Yes, I know. And now finally the consumer may have enough graphical power to finally make a 3D kitchen. But that's a big if. That's exactly right. Maybe. They haven't actually been released yet. They've been announced. They'll be released on the 17th for the 3080 and the 24th for the 3090. And then in October, I believe, for the 3070. So they're not out yet, but they're coming. They're coming soon. And I was saying to the guys that I like the idea of 24 gigabytes of VRAM on the 3090 for rendering work. But I want a Founders Edition card and they won't sell me one in Australia. I'm so gutted. Because I really don't like the board partner designs. They're all really ugly. I'm sorry, but they're ugly. I mean, there's no other word for it. They're just ugly. They look tacky. I don't know why these board hardware manufacturers like Asus and MSI want to put freaking LEDs everywhere, and they're just ugly. They're ugly. I want a Founders Edition. Send me a Founders Edition, NVIDIA, or let me buy one, please. Digitalis says, Leggy, why are you still awake? Legmog says, Lord, today has quite possibly been the most unproductive day in history. I met up with my dad at the pub at 12. Then when I got home, I went to sleep for 6 hours. Gee, tough life for you. All the while, I've been able to do nothing but wait for the 400 gigabytes worth of, I'm not sure what that is, worth of something to transfer from one drive to the other, which took 13 ridiculous hours. 400 gig is a lot of data though, so I'm not surprised it took a long time. 13 hours. Actually, that's, I'm trying to remember, because I mean, I back up large amounts of data a lot as well. That seems like a long time though, because I mean, I regularly back up 100 gig, like 150 gig. It doesn't take 13 hours. It generally takes about an hour and a half with USB 3 or USB-C 3.1. Legmog says, but Phil, come on. This is the pro gamer market we're talking about. These people won't buy any tech unless it looks like a Decepticon that's fallen through a Christmas tree. That's a great example. A great way to describe it, Legmog. A Decepticon falling through a Christmas tree. Yeah, that is what they look like, but you're right. But, okay, I can understand that with the 3080s and the 3070s, but the 3090, it's not really meant to be a gaming card. It's meant as a replace. Like, NVIDIA are promoting, at least at the moment, the 3080 is their top-of-the-range gaming card. The 3090 is really more of a Titan replacement. And the Titan was never marketed as a gaming card. And they're not marketing the 3090 as a gaming card, even though it is. And even though, that's... But, yeah. So I wish the board partners would at least make the 3090 designs a little bit simpler and cleaner. Go all hell for leather on the 3080s and the 3070s, MSI, ASUS, EVGA. But give us something with a little bit more style and class on the 3090s. If you want people to spend $2,500 on a video card, well then, don't make it look horrible. Of course, I would just buy a Founders card if I could, because I like the look of the Founders card, but I can't. Legmug says, you've never heard of the word tat? Oh, tat. Was it tat? Okay. No, tat's not really a word. I have heard of the word, but it's not a common word in Australia. But I have heard of it. If something is tat, then it's just kind of generic junk. So if your room is incredibly messy, you say, oh Lord, I have so much tat lying around. Yeah, it's not a word we say here in Australia very often. I have heard it before, but it's not a common word in this country. You English and your weird words. And I see you guys in England, the UK, you're going to be stuck with one of our old Prime Ministers, aren't you? Good luck with that. Mr. Tony Abbott, I think, is becoming your Trade Minister for Australia. Good luck with that. He's a horror. He's a horror. Misogynistic, homophobic horror. I can't believe that your government thought it would be a good idea to hire him as your trade minister or your trade person, liaison, whatever he's supposed to be. He's a horror. I'm glad he's over there and not here. That's all I have to say. You can deal with him now. Again, we have a bit of a gap here, but that's because the wood itself, the wooden beam is like deformed. But we're going to be swapping out to like a black texture for the background here, so you won't see that. Okay, so with a bit of luck, I should be able to duplicate both of these to take them down the other end. Let's rotate them around. Legmug says, I know a lot of people where he's got to be good, right? I mean, he was the Prime Minister of Australia. I looked into him and it looked like he was only PM he was for a very tiny amount of time before getting kicked out by his own party. That's exactly what happened. He was a Prime Minister for a very small amount of time until they rolled him and knifed him in the back. His own party rolled him and knifed him in the back. And they replaced him with, I think it was Malcolm Turnbull at the time, another Liberal guy. So you are right. He was knifed by his own party. Which is never a good thing. I'm just going to move these around the other way. And he's a horrible man. I'm sorry, but he's just horrible. He's just horrible. And I'm glad we're rid of him. I sympathise for you people in the UK that have to deal with him because he's a horrible man. He's just a horrible man. No other way to put it. He's just a horrible man. Just scale this one up a little bit. Okay, let's look at the side over here now. We should be able to duplicate these two. Actually, let's just duplicate this one. Actually, let's not do that. I think I created a piece that might fit there. If I can find it. Actually, let's tidy this up first. Let's move these textures into our texture folder. And let's move the material into the materials folder. Yeah, I think it's this piece here. I think. Find out. We want to flip it in the Y direction. Legmark says, not a particularly distinguished career as PM it looked like. No, he didn't. He was terrible. Legmark says, yeah, I have a biggish freelance gig right now, more fingernails, which you like doing because you said there's good money and it's easy. I'm this close to blowing the entire paycheck on a 3090. Just got to figure out this whole, will I still need a new PSU because of this power plan issue you spoke of? Yeah, no, you won't need a new power supply. If you buy one of the aftermarket 3090s, like one from MSI or Asus or EVGA, they're going to come with two 8-pin connectors like you have now on your power supply. If you buy one of the Founders Edition cards, they will come with an adapter that you can use anyway. So either way, you should be good with your current power supply. And you guys in the UK can buy the Founders Edition cards, unlike me here in Australia. Thank you, NVIDIA. They will sell you one, they won't sell me one. But yeah, so only the Founders Edition need the adapter and will need the 12-pin power, and they come with an adapter. NVIDIA give you an adapter, so nothing to worry about there. The current power supplies will be fine no matter which way you go. Digital says, why you need a 3090 leggy to play Fall Guys? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you'll need that 3090 power to play Fall Guys. Legmark says, yes, I refuse to play Fall Guys at anything less than 1 million, 10 million frames per second. Able to play Minecraft, as Smurfberry says, that's right. Let's duplicate this piece. Almost deleted it by mistake. Why is it showing up as, oh, I know why. Okay. I was wondering why it was showing up as being taller than the other piece. And it's because when it's on an angle, it needs to be scaled taller to fit the wall. In fact, I should be able to look at the scale on this one. We should be able to apply it to this one. Just make sure it's rotated correctly. All right, now. Now, I'm pretty sure when I designed these, I designed it so two together should fit within one of those squares. Let's see. I'm just going to scale this up a little bit, width-wise. Oh, wrong way. And then there's a doorway here which we can't see. Let's just go into lit mode so we can see it a bit more easily. This one I may have to scale up a little bit. I do have a small piece. I wonder if I could use one of those. I'm just trying to work out whether I want to scale this or if I want to try and bring in another smaller piece. Turn angle snap back on. Let's scale it up. I just want to try and avoid scaling too much where we start to change the scale of the rectangles on the wall, because that will be more noticeable. So if we go there, then I can maybe scale this one in a little bit. Legmark says, don't worry, Phil, if nobody notices that the kitchen isn't there, they probably won't notice that the rectangles on the wall are off. Oh, so cheeky. You're going to get a slap, you know it. You know it. I'm going to give you a Phil slap. You're this close. Okay, I think we should be fine. I think the rectangles actually, whoa, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to scale this one in just a little bit. Just so it better matches the size here. Which means I can bring this one over just a little bit. That's better. So now all of our wall panels should be the same size. All the squares in our wall panel should all be the same size. Let's do a quick save. And I can have a drink of my coffee. The kitchen's going to be the very last thing we put in this building because it's another one of those rooms that I'm having a real problem with thinking of a design for. So that'll be the last thing to go in the building. Once we finish the attic, we're going to move to the sitting room. So. We've still got a bit to do on the attic. So what I want to do now too is I want to... Actually, that might be cool. I remember at the beginning I said, we may revisit this. It's because I don't really like the look of that beam, just sitting there like that. I mean, it's not terrible, but I'm just wondering if we can maybe make it better. So I think what I might do is we may jump back into max. I may move the beams. So it's going to be a bit of a guessing game here. We're going to have to try and guess the position. So we may have to export and import a couple of times between Max and Unreal so we get the alignment correct. But I think that might be a better way to go. Let me just have a look here. I want to try and keep a bit of balance happening. So I think what I'm going to do is... Digitalis says, would you be going on for much longer? I think I'm going to hit the bed. Oh, no, I'm finishing up in 15 minutes. So in about another 5 minutes or so, we're going to start looking at the work you guys posted in the gallery. So I finish it in another 15 minutes, Digitalis. But if you're tired, go to bed. I don't want to keep you up. Almost 4 in the morning. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, look, if you're tired, go to bed. Oh, you can do that? Yeah, 15 minutes is I finished the stream, and in about 5 minutes I'll start showing the work you guys posted in the gallery. So, let's just jump back into Max really. Actually, this changing the beams is going to be a bit of a... it's going to take a little bit of time. We might do that tomorrow. So what else can we do here before I finish in 5 minutes, before I start showing the work you guys are doing? Well, we need to keep going through the rest of the attic, so I'm just trying to work out how I want to design that. I guess that should be... Yeah, that should be wall paneling. So let us duplicate this. There are two ways I could have done this little hall section. I could either do it with wood slats, because I have created these wooden pieces which are going to go on the ceiling or on the sides of the walls. We could either do those, or we could do this this decorative paneling I'm not sure which would look better. Could be a good way to break up the two rooms if we do wood slats instead of paneling. Anyway, we can keep going to the next room because I'll come back to this little hall section in tomorrow. But let's go to the next room section here. Looks like the angle needs to be changed just a little bit. With this one we will scale it up. Will we? Actually we won't. We won't scale it up. I'll grab one of the smaller sections, but let's position it correctly on the wall. Again, our rotation's a little bit off. Turn off angle snap. I like to turn it back on just in case I forget to turn it back on at a later date. Okay. So let's, how are we going here? Let's duplicate it one more time. And it's going to go out into unlit mode here. Just easier for me to see what's going on. Let's duplicate these two. And we can bring them down here. And again, it's sort of going halfway in behind here, but the player is never going to be able to come in here anyway, into this little section of the room. It's sort of like a blocked off section of wall. So we should be good. Let's just move back here and then I can turn lighting back on and we can have a look at our handiwork, and then we're going to look at the work you guys have posted in the gallery. So, again, it's very dark. We don't have our lighting happening yet. So we're going to, the player will come through the hidden door, go up the spiral staircase to this small hall section. We will have light coming in through these windows. We still have to do the boards for the walls, and I actually have decorative wooden insets for these top parts of the ceiling. And I do want to make some duplicates of this, but we'll do that once we move the what are they called? the thingies on the ceiling. You guys know what I mean. Let's do a quick save, and I want to check out the work you guys have posted in the gallery. Remember too, the lighting you're seeing here is just completely off because I haven't rebuilt the lighting in the level, and there are no real lights up here in this room. It's showing up as being bright because the lighting hasn't been rebuilt. If I was to rebuild the lighting without adding more lights, it will show up as black because we're in a completely enclosed space with pretty much no lighting. Let's check out the gallery. So I want to start with Wax Kink's gun. Wax Kink created this really cool gun. Again, if you're new to my channel, you want to know more about me, you can go to phildoes3d.com. That's my website. Beautiful work. I love the detailing he's put in the gun here. It looks really cool. The colour's really interesting as well. He's got a few images here, so I'll just load up a couple more. Yeah, beautiful detail work. I love it. Love it. There was one image here, this one I think I want to look at as well. Now he's popped a lot more images in the gallery than I'm going to be showing here. So check them out in the Phil Does 3D Discord gallery. Beautiful texture work though. I love what he's done here with the texturing. I really love this inlay, carved inlay, engraved inlay, if that's the word, engraved. It looks really cool. And I really like the colour as well. Like this purplish colour is really an interesting design choice for the gun. Makes it more interesting than like gunmetal grey. Everything's gunmetal grey. So having it with this purple tint just helps to make the gun look more unique and more interesting, at least to me. The same with the hilt here. I really like the inlay that's going on here as well. Nice texturing. Bit of damage happening here on the sides of the gun. Yeah, beautifully done. Really beautifully done. Yeah, beautiful work. Beautiful work. Makes the gun look expensive. It does. And it just makes the gun look more interesting. It's not gunmetal grey. It's got this purplish tint to it. It makes it interesting. I like it. I like it. Yeah, and again, I really like the texturing. I like the modelling. Beautiful work. Really nice work there, Wax Kink. And you guys jump on the Discord gallery if you want to look at the other images, because he's posted quite a few. Edo has posted a character that he's working on by the look of it. Nice. I like the pose. I like the modelling too. The modelling's nicely done. You can see the silhouette here. Are you using 2021 Edo? ZBrush 2021? I installed that last week or the week before, I think. I've been playing around with the cloth stuff in ZBrush. Shock horror. Phil's been using ZBrush, yes. Yeah, I love it, Edo. It looks great. Character is looking wonderful. I like the pose you've got her in as well, and the modelling, of course, is beautiful. Really nice. It's going to look great. Textured up. And then we have Digitalis, or Darth Vader, Darth Vader, is it? Darth Vader, if you're in the Discord. Yeah, and I thought it was a graphics card at first too, but no, beautiful work as well. Digitalis, really nice. Yeah, really nice. I really like the little stickers and stuff you've got stuck on the case. They look really cool. Beautiful work. Gun's really interesting as well. The stickers, I love the stickers. It's really, really lovely, actually. Really lovely. Yeah, really nice texturing. Yeah, that's beautiful work, actually. Beautiful, beautiful texturing work. I love it. Love it. You've done a really nice job. Can't fault it at all. Looks great. It's a mixture of MP5 and a P90. I call the MP95 Digitalis. Hang on, let me catch up with the rest of the chat. Android Lust says, I have an idea of who the character is, but I'll wait to see. And Android Lust was asking Digitalis if it was a real gun, and he said it's a mixture of an MP5 and a P90. Android Lust says, I see, I figured it shoots more like caliber rounds. Well, again, you guys know more about guns than I do, but it's beautifully done. I really, really like the texturing work. I think it looks great. I mean, you guys know me. I'm not overly fond of gun renders, but I'm not saying don't do them. I'm saying don't fill your portfolio full of them. The texturing work, though, is really, really nicely done on this one. The modelling is beautiful too, but it's the texturing work I'm looking at. I really, really like the texturing work. You've done a really good job. Very realistic. Yeah, looks great. Looks great. Thank you for letting me show it on the stream. I want to thank Wax Kink as well and Edo for letting me show their work on the stream. Remember, guys, if you do want me to show your work off, pop it in the gallery on the Phil Does 3D Discord server, and at the end of each stream, I show off any work that you guys have put in the gallery. Digitalis says, hang on. Android Lust says, I hate guns, Phil 2020. That's not true. I don't hate guns. I just don't want to see you guys fill your portfolio with guns and cars. I know you guys like making guns and cars. Listen, you do what you like. You make what you enjoy. But please, if you're going for a job, don't make your portfolio full of guns and cars. People that are going to employ you want to see a bit more range from you and your work. They don't want to think all you can do is guns and cars. So you show them you can do other things as well. And, you know, if you were an interviewer and if you were working in a studio having to look at everybody's portfolio all day long, and you see portfolio after portfolio after portfolio with gun, car, how are you going to stand out to that person looking at all that work? You know, if all you're filling your portfolio with is guns and cars, so you're not. Whereas if you choose something else that's not a gun or a car, and is a bit more unique to your personality and your style and your art style, you're going to be remembered, trust me, more than just guns and cars. But you make what you enjoy making. I'm not suggesting you guys don't make them, and particularly if you like making them, you make them. Now, Digitalis says it's close to being done. It looks really nice. It's really, really nicely done. I like the gun because it's interesting. I like the render because, again, it's an interesting looking angle at the gun. I love the texturing work. All of these little stickers and stuff you've got on the case, it looks really cool. And the sticker on the gun, or this paint work or whatever it is on the gun here, looks very cool as well. You've done a really nice job. Yeah, I'm assuming are you still working on like pieces like here? Or is that meant to be white? Is it like a white plastic or something? That's the only thing that sort of caught my eye as to I don't know whether it's meant to be like that or, you know, I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm just saying that's caught my eye. Oh, it's a work in progress. Okay. Well, then we're not going to critique. But what you've done so far with the texturing is beautifully done. Really nice, very realistic, very believable. Really nicely done. You can see you put a lot of work into it, and it shows because it looks great. So yes, guys, thanks for letting me show off your work on the stream. I will be back, of course, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US. We will pick up where we left off here and continue working on the attic for the House in the Hollow game. No problem. I love looking at the work you guys make. Digitalis says, cheers for letting me show you. I want to see the guy. The whole reason I'm on Twitch is to look at the stuff you guys make and encourage you guys to do 3D. So I love looking at your work. So yeah, anytime you guys want to post images to stuff you're working on in the gallery, please do. And if you don't want me to show it on the stream, when you post the image in the gallery, just say, please don't show it on the stream, and I won't. Because you have to remember all of my streams go to YouTube as well, so they'll live forever, or as long as YouTube is around. But I do want to thank you guys, though, for being here and for watching, welcoming me back after my week away. I will be back again tomorrow, of course, at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. You guys and girls take care. If you're an American, enjoy your Labor Day holiday, and I will see you all tomorrow. See you guys.